Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Nerdy Know Me. My name is Nomi and today I am going to break down Disney Plus Loki series official trailer, or you can say exclusive clip that is officially released by Marvel Entertainment. But before beginning this video, I have a request to all of you. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon, and if you have subscribed yet, then without wasting any further time, let's begin the video. We last saw Loki in Avengers Endgame stealing the Tesseract and teleporting off to God knows where. And it turns out Loki isn't so sure himself, because Loki finds himself jumping through time and various realities and apparently persuaded and at one point captured by a mysterious organization known as the TVA, led by Owen Wilson's character. The trailer starts off with a minute of the footage from Avengers Endgame leading up to Loki's theft of the Tesseract and his disappearance, then a flash of weird cosmic lightning that forms some kind of tunnel through space and time, and we cut to the desert where Loki has landed. And I think that this is the Gobi Desert, because 3 Mongolian people welcomes Loki, and just as confused as we are, Loki is also confused because he doesn't know where he has come. And Loki flickers back and forth his eyes because he doesn't even know himself that where he have come, because his intentions were to go somewhere else. Now this is a reference to the Iron Man 1 movie, the way Loki arrives or crashes into the desert just like Iron Man, and it hints us that just like Tony Stark's journey was started at this point, Loki's journey has also started. Now the weird thing is that Loki doesn't have Tesseract in here, or his cuffs, or the device that keeps him shut. And the mysterious question arises that how did exactly Loki lose Tesseract or the cuffs or the device that keeps him shut? And the thing that is noticeable in here is that Loki traveled through Tesseract, not Bifrost. Now in this shot we can see Loki opened a portal just like Thanos used Space Stone on Titan planet to travel to Earth in Wakanda. But the trailer shows us that Loki traveled through the Bifrost bridge, which took him to some sort of a desert. And in the next shot, after the Marvel Studios logo, we cut to the interior of a mysterious building that seems to house infinite floors, each with stranger and stranger designations like LK3, 2W1, FHF, VG2, 3FG, CET, XN1 and TSL among them, with peculiar X and equal signs in the middle and a symbol that looks like a smiley face. What could they mean? I can't say for sure. But if the organization from the Marvel Comics who runs this building, known as TVA or Time Variance Authority, is correct, then each level could house different realities and timelines. In the comics, the Time Variance Authority is an organization responsible for monitoring the multiverse and maintaining interdimensional order, and can even bring an end to timelines if they are deemed too dangerous to exist, which makes a trickster god like Loki in possession of a stone that allows him to bend space their worst nightmare. And then we see Loki captured in an elevator with the Owen Wilson's character, and we see that Loki is wearing a collar and a jumpsuit with the TVA logo on his chest, and of course the collar dampens Loki's powers so that Loki couldn't escape. And then Loki asks Owen Wilson's character that you're taking me somewhere to kill me, and Owen Wilson's character replies, no, I am taking you someplace to talk. And then Loki and Owen Wilson's character engage in a back and forth about the Loki's tendency to lie, going so far as to take a mocking tone with Loki, which proves that Wilson's character is one of the few not intimidated by him, because Loki lies to him that he doesn't like to talk, but the Owen Wilson's character and we know that Loki loves to talk. And that's why Tony Stark built a device in Avengers movie to keep Loki shut. So who is Wilson playing? His character was not confirmed at the Disney Investors Conference, but in perhaps a slip of the hand from Marvel, the captions on the trailer for Loki refer to Wilson's character as Mobius M. Mobius, a mid-level manager of the TVA who is one of the dozens of clones. Now this isn't a confirmation that Owen Wilson is playing Mobius M. Mobius, but it definitely suggests he is, especially with the cropped hair and a mustache he shares with the comics character. And in the next shot, more hints are given about the powers of the Time Variance Authority when Loki asks Mobius that how long he's been here, and Owen Wilson's character replies that it's hard to say, time passes differently here in the TVA. before pushing him through the elevator doors. And in the next shot, we see a soldier enter a dark tent, and now I am guessing that this is the start of the 1800th century or 1900th century, because everybody here is using lamps and there's no sign of technology of any kind. And then we see a mysterious hooded figure who appears apparently at the same setting that the soldiers are scooping out. The figure carries a gas lamp, which the figure then throws on the ground, lighting the grass on fire. And as the fire spreads, one of the soldiers scambles away, but he stands out from the rest, and the helmet that tumbles off his head bears some resemblance to Captain America's World War II helmet, and his uniform bears some parallels to that of the first Avengers. Though the bearded man beneath the helmet is clearly not Chris Evans, it's possible that this is an alternate version of Captain America being attacked by a hooded figure. This may confirm the rumors that the villain of the series and the figure in the hood is an alternate Loki from a different dimension, who has been rumored to be played by Richard E. Grant. Richard E. Grant was confirmed to be a part of the Loki series, though Marvel was naturally tight-lipped on his role. However, the hints from this trailer lend nicely to the rumors that Grant is playing Old Man Loki, a villainous future form of Loki from an alternate timeline, who may be set up as a big bad for the series, and that explains that why the TVA is chasing after this hooded figure. And in the next shot we see Loki back in Avengers Towers from the Avengers 1 movie, and then he says
glorious,
which is a reference to the famous line of Loki from Avengers 1 movie where he says that I am burdened with a glorious purpose. And the thing that is worth noticing is that Loki is back in his old outfit, and he also have Mind Stone, because we can see in the reflection of the mirror that is behind him that he also has his Spectre from Avengers 1 movie that contains Mind Stone in it, which Loki uses to take control of people's minds. And I should remind you that this is not the reformed Loki. This Loki is still fresh from his defeat from Avengers movie, and Loki may not seem too keen to help the TVA maintain cosmic order, because in this shot we can see that Loki is back in his old outfit and his old evil self. And in the next shot we get back to the TVA, where Loki appears to be taken to trial by organization's top authorities, with Gugu Mambatha Ra presiding as judge. Behind her are three faces carved into the wooden wall, which is interesting because in the comics the TVA is literally a faceless bureaucracy, and most of its agents are artificial clones without faces who are sent to monitor each divergent reality. But a few higher ranking judges enforce the TVA's regulations, including Justice Peace, Justice Love, Justice Goodwill, Justice Might, Justice Truth, and Justice Liberty. The Time Variance Authority is also led by a mysterious being known as Mr. Alternity, and Mambatha Ra may be playing one of these justices, who in the comics sometimes have a tendency to go rogue and commit the crimes they are meant to prevent, which may explain a later scene where we saw Mambatha's character with two agents fighting with Loki. And in the next shot we see more sculptures within the seemingly infinite TVA's building, and I am guessing that they are the same three figures that we saw in the courtroom. And then we see the TVA logo in holographic form, and in the next shot we see Loki imprisoned with Mobius and Mobius, and he is showing the events of Loki's past and future to Loki in a holographic form. And the first scene he shows Loki is the scene from the Thor Ragnarok movie, and the second scene is from Avengers 1 movie where the Avengers defeats and captures Loki. So the one scene is from Loki's past and the other scene is from Loki's future. So that means Mobius and Mobius is showing Loki that what his past was and what his future could have been if he hasn't escaped from Avengers 1 movie using the Tesseract. And if Mobius and Mobius is going to show Loki his future, then it means that he is also going to show Loki that how he is going to die in this timeline. And we all know that in the Avengers Endgame movie, Loki died by the hands of Thanos, trying to do the right thing and trying to honor the memory of his father, Odin. And I think that's why he turns his head away in the next scene in shame. And I think that Loki is captured soon after he teleported away with the Tesseract, because I mean his defeat is still fresh. And in the next shot we see Loki working with the TVA, or at least accompanying them on a mission at a store called Boxcart. where the TVA hunts down a man for his crimes. And in the next shot we see Loki again in the TVS building with the TVS jumpsuit, and I think that the TVA is trying to experiment on Loki. And in the next shot we see that Mobius is handing something over to a little white haired girl as they stand under the reflected light shining through a stained glass window pane of a demonic figure surrounded by cosmic imagery. And the question that arrives is that who is this girl? Is she a guardian of a dimension or reality, one that is evil considering the demonic figure on the glass? And in the next scene we see Mombatha's raw character with two agents fighting with Loki, and I think that she's gone rogue. And then Loki flips his knives just like in the Thor Ragnarok movie, but that scene was deleted from the movie. And then we see a planet getting destroyed by the crumbling pieces of its moon. And you remember that I said TVA brings an end to timelines that are deemed too dangerous to exist. And I think that this is either the TVA's doing or Loki's mischief. And then we see a young girl sitting in the ruins of her planet, bathed in a purple light. Now, some of the people were saying that this is the Black Widow or this might be the female Loki. And I think that she is not either of them. But she is a very important person because in the next scene we see Loki in TVA's suit trying to save her. But again I think that the TVA is trying to put a stop to this timeline because it's considered too dangerous to exist. But I think that she is a very important person, and that's why Loki in the next shot is trying to save her before the whole planet gets destroyed. And in the next shot we see Loki in the TVA jacket, and he is standing among the ruins of a city, and it's not just a city, it's the New York City of another timeline where the Loki and the Chitauri army wins in the first Avengers movie. And we can also see the destroyed Avengers Tower in the city's ruins, and this is the post-apocalyptic future from another timeline where the things didn't go very well after the events of the Avengers movie. And in the next shot we see Loki on a plane as DB Cooper. Yes, that DB Cooper, the man behind the hijacking of the Boeing 727 aircraft in 1971, who managed to escort $200,000 in ransom money and parachute out of the airplane, never to be seen again. The manhunt for Cooper and his disappearance has remained one of the greatest unsolved cases of the 20th century. And here we see that Loki was the DB Cooper, and that his disappearance is explained by Heimdall suddenly beaming him up to Asgard when he jumps out of the plane. And when Loki series was first announced, we have heard many descriptions of it being a time-hopping adventure, and thus so far we have seen little of that except for DB Cooper's scene. But in a short scene of Loki tossing a tunic-wearing woman out of the way, we get another glimpse of what appears to be a historical setting that the Loki finds himself in. And behind Loki there's a man, and his outfit is similar to the Spartans. And I think that this might be the 300 BC, and Loki is in the modern TVA's jacket, and I think that Loki has become an agent of the TVA and finds himself in increasingly absurd situations, and that seems to be the case with this scene where a man dressed remarkably like M'Baku from the Black Panther movie taking a hammer to a Loki's look-alike and knocking the antler helm off of his head, and the real Loki looks to be in the shock after seeing this. And then we see Loki's logo, and the logos are constantly changing until the original logos comes, and that means that we are going to see different versions of Loki in different realities or different timelines. But there is only one original Loki, and that is from the Avengers movie, who escaped by using the Tesseract, and the official logo is for him. And the next and the final shot of the trailer is really hilarious because we know that Loki betrays everyone, but when he gets betrayed by his own people, he looks really surprised. And we see that Loki is wearing a green suit and his antler helm with a political Loki sticker on his chest, and the man behind Loki is also wearing the Loki sticker on his hat, and it is a reference to Vote Loki comic book by Christopher Hastings, a 4-part 2016 comic book run that parodied the 2016 presidential elections and followed Loki's controversial political campaign for President of the United States. Alright everybody, that was the last scene of the trailer, and I hope that you enjoyed this breakdown video. And if you really enjoyed it, then subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you never miss an update, and leave a like to this video and follow me on Instagram at nomi2malik007 and comment your thoughts about this video, and I will be meeting you in the next video. But till then, bye.